Today we're going to talk about what it means to be a millionaire. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom Fastlane. And remember, the quicker you get to your dream life, the longer you get to live it. And I'm your host, George Atchin-Paul. All right, so mostly everybody, would at least like to become a millionaire. So let's talk about what that actually means. Because different people look at it different ways, and I want to share with you the different ways that I view it in the way that I like the most, right? So the first way that you can be considered a millionaire is if you're a seven-figure earner. It means that you've earned $1,000,000 in your bank account. Now, here's the interesting thing about being a seven-figure earner. Personally, for me, I consider myself a millionaire if I earn $1 million in the same calendar year, right? From January to December, if seven figures came through my account, then yes, I consider myself a seven-figure earner. What I don't necessarily consider a seven-figure earner is that if your business cumulatively has earned over seven figures. Now, that's still a great feat. It's just not quite the same thing, right? Now, honestly, if we're being really, really honest from my vantage point, I think that you truly can only be considered a seven-figure earner, which we'll get to in a second, if you actually have access to seven figures. Because here's the thing, if you have a business that makes seven figures, right, but you have expenses that total 5, 6, 700,000, right? Like, are you really a millionaire? Now, again, it does not detract from the amazing feat of having seven figures earned through your business. I want to make the distinction because sometimes people will get blindsided by revenue screenshots, which is really a vanity metric, right? Revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity, right? What did you actually make? What did you actually keep? Okay. Which brings me to my next type of millionaire. Now, this type of millionaire has a seven-figure net worth, right? What that means is when you look at everything they own and everything that they owe, right? The net result of that is over seven figures, right? Now that means you actually have seven figures in assets, but this one can be tricky too because assets can be equity that's tied up in a business. Assets can be equity that's tied up in a house. And while that is important, right? Equity is for net worth. Cash flow, right, is for lifestyle. Because here's the thing. If you have ownership in a tech company or have ownership in your own business, like you see how like Kanye West's net worth dramatically decreased when his ownership stake or partnership with Adidas was changed, right? Because technically that was just money on paper. He couldn't necessarily go out and grab it. It was based upon the fact if someone were to buy his stake at this price, that is what it would be worth, right? So net worth millionaire is cool. But depending upon what type of assets you have and how the equity is tied up, it could be very, very illiquid, right? Doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just important to know because you see these things like I'm a billionaire or I'm a seven-figure earner. All those things are great, but I think it's important for you as somebody on the journey to understand the context, right? Someone could be a seven-figure, their business could earn seven figures. They might be paying themselves $100,000, right? That's important to understand. Like, if the seven figures actually hit their personal bank account, did it hit their business account, how much of it is theirs? None of it's bad. It's just context. And as you guys know, my goal is to bridge the gap between limiting beliefs and the oversimplification of success. Because that way you're not discouraged and it's like, oh my gosh, how is this person making $1 million a month or $1 million a year? And you don't really have the context of what that looks like, how much they spend on paid ads, what are their actual expenses or the net worth number and how much of it's liquid versus how much is tied up, how much of it is a projection based upon a metric that may or may not ever come to fruition. It doesn't make it bad. It's just important to understand the context, okay? So you got the seven-figure earner who earns seven figures from active income. You have the net worth millionaire who has assets valued over $1 million. And then you have my personal favorite, the asset millionaire, cash flow asset millionaire. What I mean by that is this particular individual has over $1 million in cash flow coming from assets. That's a different type of millionaire. The reason being is, first and foremost, they're really, really, really a millionaire because in order to have $1 million be produced from your investments in cash flow, you have to have multiple millions of dollars invested, right? For example, if you had $10 million in the stock market, right, and your investments earned on average 10%, right, then that means every year, right, you could take $1 million off the top, right? So that's really, really powerful. Now, that's not the only way to do it. Obviously, you can have cash flow coming from real estate. You can have cash flow coming from private equity investments. But no matter how you slice it, you have $1 million in cash flow coming from your investments, you a millionaire for real. Okay. Now this is just a bonus one, and it's less about the status of millionaire, but just to let you know, like, you must be in a really good place if you're able to do this. And this is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is I want to be able to give millions of dollars. Because if you can give millions of dollars, right, then you definitely, definitely, definitely have millions of dollars, right? So I want to be able to give $1 million. So sometimes it's about changing the target and changing your perspective, because it's like, if I can focus on being able to give away $1 million, then I'm probably going to be straight, right? Which is why my mission is to help 100,000 other people become millionaires. Because if I help 100,000 other people become millionaires, safe to say I might touch a B, right? I've been fortunate enough to already cross the $1 million threshold, both in assets and in income. I haven't reached the level of being able to have $1 million come from my investments yet, but it's coming. But most importantly, what I'm really proud of is one day being able to give away millions of dollars to help other people. So hopefully this was just a quick little insightful episode to let you know the different types of millionaires, how to understand when you hear someone say I have a 7-figure net worth or I'm a 7-figure earner. You won't often hear people say I have 7 figures coming from assets. One, because it's a hard goal to hit, but two, because once you got that, you kind of out the way, you ducked off somewhere. But yeah, guys, hopefully this was helpful. How close are you on your millionaire journey? Which one are you targeting first? And I can't wait to help you get there. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this with somebody, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Peace.